Welcome everyone. I'm super excited to have Harry Nordlinger. Nordlinger, am I pronouncing that right?
Nordlinger, but
Nordlinger.
close. Yeah.
German or Nord?
Yes, it is.
Sweet, sweet. So, I'm super excited to have Harry here with us. I've been in one of his horror anthologies, been on a horror panel with him. So I'm super excited to delve in a little bit more for the Oakland Creates Art Makers series. And so I'll share my screen really quickly and ask Harry to describe or tell us a little bit more about himself. Can you see the slideshow there?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. So this is your bio, but in your own words, tell us what you do, what you like, what you're about.
All right, sweet. Well, I'm a cartoonist illustrator from San Francisco. Mostly I specialize in horror comics or horror adjacent. I've done the anthology Vacuum Decay for the past 6 years now. Got 7 issues in 6 years, so that's not so bad.
Awesome.
Um, where I edit and publish that, and I also have a story in each one. I also did some solo comics such as Night Cruising for Floating World comics, and most recently, I mean, not even that recently, my Simpsons bootleg horror noir comic Shadows over Springfield. I have a new comic coming out in August called Laser Quest, and that'll be from Floating World as well.
Nice. And so let's talk a little bit more about your work, the anthology. How did
Mhm.
you come up with this idea and sort of what made you invite other artists to be a part of it?
So I love old school comic anthologies going all the way back to Tales from the Crypt and EC stuff, but I especially love the like underground ones from
Mhm.
60s, 70s, 80s.
Right.
There were some really incredible horror anthologies from the underground era, such as Slow Death, Death Rattle, Gore Shriek, uh, Lunatic Binge, all these really weird anthologies from these underground cartoonists. And I felt like in the 2010s, around 2019 is when I came up with Vacuum Decay, and I felt like that didn't exist anymore. There were plenty of anthologies, and there were plenty of great indie and underground comics happening, but there wasn't a specifically horror focused anthology that existed at the time.
Wow.
And so me and my friend Carmichael really wanted to make a horror anthology. And I specifically wanted it to be modern. I didn't want it to be like hokey. I didn't want it to be like, EC Tales from the Crypt, where it's just like every issue is just a zombie thing. So I wanted there to be more of like an existential or surreal quality to it. So I literally just reached out to a bunch of people I knew and a couple who I didn't know, who I just admired. And COVID came around and I got unemployment money and I just put that towards self-publishing the first issue.
Sweet. Sweet, that's awesome. Yeah, it actually gave me an opportunity to take a break from my zombie comic and make a
Yeah.
vampire story and
Mhm.
reimagine vampirism in the urban setting, so to speak. And I need to really continue with that. I think that will be my next long format comic project. I don't know if I'll use the same elements from the one I
Mhm.
did in the anthology, but it really kind of got my brain moving around in a different aspect of horror, I guess you could say. So that was really cool that you asked me to do that because I came up with that on the spot. Like I
Oh
didn't want,
yeah.
like you said, I didn't want to do another zombie thing because I already have a zombie series. So
Yeah. But I didn't mean to say zombie disparagingly because I do love
no,
zombies.
no, it's fine. A lot of people
Yeah.
hate zombie stuff, and I'm like, whatever. I love zombies. I don't really care about other people's opinion if it makes me happy. So
Mm.
it's
I
like
also love zombie stuff.
it's fine. So talk a little bit about Laser Quest. You said it's coming out this fall.
Yeah, so we're in this era right now of kind of like what people online call like liminal space or like nostalgia core. Um there's this whole thing where we currently live, this is going to sound I'm going way over the top here, but we currently live in like a post-consumerist society. So for
Mm,
people like me, people who are 30 in their 30s, millennials, we grew up in peak consumerism, the 90s. We grew up when malls, movie theaters, arcades, laser tag, Chuck E. Cheese, these places were booming, filled with kids, everyone was spending money. Post 2008, the younger kids are growing up in a post-consumer society where the malls are empty, the arcades are abandoned, the Laser Quest facility is shut down. And that's kind of where things like the back rooms or other liminal space media comes from. It comes from living in the refuse of a past society that no longer exists. We are no longer in peak abundance. We are now in scarcity.
Right.
So the mall is empty. In the case of the Backrooms movie, the furniture emporium is empty. We're living among the abandoned relics of a previous abundant society. That's all to say that I went to a lot of Laser Quest birthday parties growing up, and I wanted to revisit my childhood memories in a kind of modern, surreal context. I went and saw it. I wrote this script in like 2000, in 2023. I wrote it a while ago, actually. And I went and saw, I saw the TV Glow in the theaters. I don't know if you
Okay.
saw that movie,
I think
but
I've seen it, but it's been a while.
when I walked out of the theater, I was like, oh my God, I need to make Laser Quest right now. Otherwise, everyone else will have done it already.
Yeah.
Because all of these people are seeing this same moment, this same feeling of post abundance and our childhood, the fun of our childhood is now these ghosts of a previous
Right.
time.
Right.
And then I also want to comment on nostalgia. So there's something about Laser Quest. It's not just me exploring my own nostalgia, it's also me trying to explain why people my age are so fascinated by nostalgia and
Mm.
so hung up on their childhood memories.
I think when you get to a certain age, no matter what generation you're in, you do start to become more nostalgic. I mean, I'm probably a generation before you. In fact, I know I am. So, I mean, I think about some of the ways in which we transition, especially coming from the AIDS era and the crack epidemic era that I grew up in. It's a weird nostalgia, and it actually probably would be super conducive to horror when you think about growing up and it's normalized to have people on the street that are addicted to drugs and asking for stuff and trying to sell stuff for $2 or even knowing that certain family members are very sick but they won't talk about it. You know what I mean? And this
Hmm.
cover of death around AIDS, especially in San Francisco Bay Area where I grew up, it was palpable in this weird way. And so yeah, you become nostalgic, but my generation has a real deep sadness to it, I think,
Yeah.
especially post Vietnam. And like I said, then you move into AIDS, you move into drug addiction, super heavy.
Wait, can
Um,
I ask what year you were born?
I was born in 1968.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. I think I thought you were closer to my age, I suppose.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of people do.
Okay. That's
Genetics.
cool.
That's my
Yeah.
parents' genetics.
Okay,
So, no,
cool.
and I'm silly and goofy too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
But no,
interesting. Okay, yeah, because then you go through up, you were, the 70s and 80s are like a downtime in
mhm,
American economy and culture, and then the 90s are the up, and now we're back in the down.
yeah.
For people my age, it's interesting because our childhoods were in the peak.
Mm,
So my whole childhood was like, privilege and fun and abundance. And then post 2008, my parents had to sell the house and blah, blah, blah. And now we're living,
yeah.
it's like that's I think a big part for people my age is that we literally did have a better world. Like it's not just
Yeah.
nostalgia, it's actually factually true that the world was better in the
What do you think
90s.
about the amazing pulp culture that happened in my generation, juxtaposed to the real life horrors going on? Like you think Star Wars,
Yeah, the
you
70s, of course.
think of Star Trek, you think of Wonder Woman, the
Hmm.
Bionic Man, all these really fantastical future things that were so cool. Like I was just watching reruns of the Incredible Hulk with the original cast, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like it just literally took you away from what was really happening on your
Hmm.
day to day. I mean, because I grew up when they were rationing gas, like you know what I
Oh
mean.
right, right, right.
My mom had to sit in line on a certain day of the week in the alphabet for her to be able to just even go get gas because there was a shortage
Hmm.
of gas. Stuff like that. So it's really weird when you think about these sort of holdovers. What is nostalgic and like you said, you're coming from a place of abundance and wealth, and mine is like this kind of creepy, sad era that at the same time you had Star Wars and disco music and
Yeah.
and breakdancing. And so it was just a weird combination or contrast of what was going on.
Mm.
Let's go to the next visual. So you said you did the Simpsons, sort of a noir version.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Simpsons fan. I always have been. I mean, like so many people. Uh, it was a big part of growing up. And then I love bootleg comics. I love the tradition of bootleg comics. I love the tradition of people taking licensed characters and doing unofficial versions of it. And the history of Simpsons bootlegs is like huge. There's so many Simpsons bootleg products, shirts. If you just go on eBay and search like Simpsons bootleg shirts, you'll find thousands of them. And they'll do them for like any sports team or any pop culture event. They'll do like Bart Simpson in that jersey, in that sports shirt, something like that. It's just
Right.
such a ubiquitous thing. So I wanted to do my own spin on The Simpsons, which of course was a very, dread-filled crime suspense tale with a little bit of surrealism and existential dread infused.
Nice. I mean, The Simpsons had a very biting humor anyway, right?
Yeah, of course. And it was very, of its time. Um, but I wanted to, give it a specific type of old school pulp, like
Yeah.
kind of like a grimy noirish flavor.
Yeah, it's funny.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's all, and just like cover it in shadows. I just wanted to make the whole thing really dark and full of shadows.
No, I was gonna say it's so funny back if you remember TV programming, you would watch, I think, Simpsons syndicated, and then the next thing was like Unsolved Mysteries, some
Right, right,
like
right. I used to watch
horrible
those.
thing right afterwards. You're like, oh my God.
Robert Stack.
Oh man. So Spite House is your solo show coming up. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Spite House is the name of my full-length collection of comics that will hopefully be coming out at the end of the year. So
Sweet.
I named the art show the same name because it's going to be a bunch of the comic pages that will be appearing in my collection. So I have like, I think I'm going to be showing like upwards of 70 pieces of art at
Wow.
this show, including all of the pages of Laser Quest and a bunch of pages from previous comics. I also have just a bunch of original art, drawings, illustrations, a couple paintings, a couple etchings, because I've been going to the printmaking studio and doing etchings.
Hmm.
So it'll be a pretty wide range of my art from the past 3-ish years.
So it's at
It'll be kind of like a retrospective on what I've been doing in the past few years.
the Eye and Hand Society. Where's that?
It's at the Iron Hand Society, which is on Balboa between 35th and 36th. Outer Richmond, which is like my neighborhood, Balboa Street, Balboa Village, as they call it. And I got these two really gnarly weirdo noise musicians to come play at it.
Um,
Uh, Earth Pig and Lovemonger. It's gonna be really sick. I hope that we get a huge turnout. And then the show after the opening reception, the show will stay up for another month.
nice.
So even if you can't make it on the 20th, people will have a chance to come see it.
So just looking at these images, you do a lot of analog stuff or traditional stuff, right?
I only do analog and traditional stuff.
Yeah, because most of mine is definitely traditional. I'm just learning digital, but yeah, I really love the realness, and I always like stuff that you can touch.
Well, you do
Tangible.
ballpoint pen
Yeah,
mostly, right? Yeah, see,
yeah.
that's what's up. I am anti, and long before AI, I was anti-digital art. I was anti-iPads. I was anti-Wacom tablets. I want art to physically exist.
Yeah,
I mean, and like whatever, people can have whatever opinion or taste they want. I'm not, but me, I want art to be a physical product. I want it to be a thing you can hold. I want it to have real texture. I want it to really exist.
for sure.
So I am only uh tradition. I don't know if you remember this actually. When we did Vacuum Decay issue 2, I asked you, you had your name in digital type, and I asked you to redraw it by hand.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, because the Vacuum Decay, my rubric was handwritten, hand drawn, no digital, and that's kind of something I live by.
nice.
Um, Everything you will see in any of my comics is done by hand. The only exceptions are I occasionally the covers I will sometimes color digitally. Springfield, that's a real painting, but like Vacuum Decay, some of those are digitally colored. and occasionally I will scan sheets of screen tone, which are those like patterned
Hmm.
uh, tones, and I will place those on digitally. If I have to, I try to do screen tone traditionally,
I
but it's
can't find them.
expensive.
Have you found the screen tone
You have
dots?
to order them online.
Where online? I've been searching like crazy.
You can get them straight from Deleter Junior.
I'm gonna have to go.
Also, and this I hate to say it, but you can also get them on Amazon, which like
I didn't want
obviously
to say. I didn't want to say the word,
I
but
know. But unfortunately, like sometimes that's the only place to get them, and they can cost like $20 a sheet because you
mm,
have to get them from Japan sometimes. So
see, and
that's why I scan them is because they're too expensive.
I was thinking that's probably why I didn't buy them because they were probably outrageously priced. But I love that old school
It's
feel.
so cool.
Oh my God. Wow.
You can sometimes get them in Japantown at Mido.
So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. These are the interview
Yeah.
questions, and then
Okay, cool.
jump right into the questions. So where did you mention San Francisco? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Palo Alto, just south, which is where, the Laser Quest memories come from.
Nice. So just where Stanford, near Stanford,
Yeah, exactly.
for folks who aren't from California.
Yeah, we used to go. I got handcuffed by Stanford police when I was 16 for smoking weed on Stanford campus.
Oh no,
So that's my Stanford memories.
that's so believable. I have an old friend whose dad is a professor there, and I visited. They lived on, I guess, campus resident for a
Mm,
neighborhood of adjacent professors, and it is very, very conservative. Let's just use that.
yes, especially now, more so than it was when I was growing up.
Oh my gosh, scary. But anyway,
Mm.
let's not even talk about them. Go Bears. So, is there one instance or a memory that you have of someone when you were younger, maybe a school teacher or family member that inspired you to you do art as a career?
No.
Mm,
My parents were mostly very supportive. I did, however, the first thing that comes to mind is when I was in seventh grade, I was drawing comics in class, and a teacher saw them and made me go talk to the school counselor
wow.
because they were worried that I was like, gonna hurt someone or hurt myself or,
No
like,
way.
yeah, oh yeah, there was like my mom, um, and some of the, like, there was some concern that I would be like a school shooter or something like that because I was drawing these like violent horror comics
Wow.
and messed up stuff. And like I'm a firm believer in like kids having artistic expression. I see on like Reddit or Twitter people being like, "Look at the scary shit my like students drew," and it's like, yeah, that's because they're it's expression. It's fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're violent people. Um, so that's my primary memory of that. I absolutely did have support though. I remember my first grade teacher I used to draw pictures of the Titanic sinking because that movie just came out, and my first grade teacher would hang them up on the wall, and they
Nice.
would sometimes be bloody and have like sharks eating people and stuff, and she'd put them up. And my mom did show me a lot of art, and my dad did show me a lot of classic movies, and they both took me to museums and exposed me to a lot of culture. So I'm not saying that I wasn't supported.
That's
Um,
no, but I mean that's so funny because teachers kind of get this weird, I don't want to say police mentality, but they've been ever since that whole thing. Oh, serial killers as kids do A, B, and C. Then now they're
yeah,
panicking.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
And it could go both ways because I had two, I can think of two instances where teachers were really offended or horrified by my art, and then a handful of others where teachers were supportive and cool. So it's just it's individual.
Nice. So, what would you say to a young artist, or even to yourself as a young artist? Would you have words of encouragement or inspiration?
I mean, it's two things. One is like I'm still not I don't, I still don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I haven't gotten there. I haven't figured it out. I haven't made it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still have a day job, etc. So I feel often like I don't know what I'm doing or I'm still struggling. And
We
then I
all.
have to like remind myself that I've done well. And I have to be like, no, actually this is good. There are instances where I'm like, I got interviewed in the Comics Journal or my Laser Quest, the pre-sale numbers came back and they were really good. Like I have moments of success where I'm like, oh, 13-year-old me would be stoked to hear this.
Yeah.
But also, I was such a delusional kid that like 13-year-old me might be furious that I don't have like, 1,000 pages of produced comics out in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm not like, published in 7 languages. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I do have this success that I need to remind myself of, but also like I had such ideas of grandeur when I was younger that it's possible that way off track. I don't know what to say to younger people. I
Okay.
think the number one thing I would say to younger people is to not listen to older people.
Mm,
Um, they have it figured out. You got it. Don't listen to what people 20 years older than you say. Just do what you think you're doing.
okay.
Um, because because the world changes so rapidly that my dad's advice was irrelevant to me, and my advice will probably be irrelevant to them.
Nice. That's so important. That's powerful.
Mm.
It's very true. I mean, in other areas, not just art, right? Because if you
No, yeah,
think,
the whole world.
yeah, I mean, you think about the interview process for getting a job. Like,
Mhm.
there's no way that someone, like, say, well, my mom's dead, but my mom's age could never give me advice, right?
Yeah.
She has no idea of how modern society works.